Behind a blank, windowless wall in a dusty alleyway, a palace of carved cedar and trickling fountains waits in profound tranquility. You only need to know which heavy wooden door to push. The air smells of crushed mint and warm earth. Beneath your feet, the narrow alleyway is paved with worn cobblestones that have been polished smooth by centuries of footsteps. Above you, the midday sun casts sharp, geometric shadows through a canopy of woven palm leaves. Out here, the air is thick with sound. The rhythmic tapping of a coppersmith blends with the distant call to prayer and the hum of voices bargaining over spices. But the moment you step off the main path and push open a heavy, ancient wooden door, the chaos instantly fades. The air cools. The sweet scent of jasmine fills your lungs. You are standing in a courtyard filled with orange trees, where a central fountain speaks in a soft, endless whisper. Every surface around you is covered in intricate tile work that pulls your eyes upward to a perfect square of brilliant blue sky. This quiet transformation is not an accident. It is the very soul of the spaces we are about to explore. Welcome to Culture Journey. Today we are walking through the winding streets of Morocco, a land where buildings do more than just shelter people. They serve as silent storytellers, revealing the deepest values of the families who live within them. When we look at buildings in much of the world, we are taught to admire the outside. We look for grand facades, towering spires, and sweeping front steps meant to impress the public. But Moroccan architecture turns this entirely inside out. Here, the true beauty is hidden away from the street, reserved for family, close friends, and quiet moments of reflection. The spaces built by these artisans are deeply tied to local values of privacy, hospitality, and spirituality. Every carved piece of wood, every polished stone, and every curved archway carries centuries of meaning passed down from generation to generation. It is a philosophy built into the very walls, teaching those who live within them how to move through the world with grace and intention. Let us wander together through these hidden sanctuaries and discover the quiet magic woven into the clay and stone of Morocco. Imagine walking deeper into the ancient Medina of Fez. The streets form a sprawling labyrinth. They twist and turn abruptly, sometimes narrowing so much that you must turn your shoulders to let another person pass. If you were here right now, you might wonder why a city would be designed to feel like an endless maze. But this is an act of communal brilliance. These winding alleys were shaped organically by the people who lived here centuries ago. The towering walls of the houses bend toward each other, blocking out the fierce North African sun and creating a natural cooling system that flows through the entire city. The streets move like water, bringing people together into central squares by the mosques and communal ovens, then flowing back into profound stillness. When you live in the Medina, you are part of a massive, living organism. The architecture enforces community. Because the alleys are too narrow for cars, everything moves at a human pace. You hear the soft thud of donkey hooves carrying sacks of flour. You smell the rich scent of baking bread floating through the air. Traditional Moroccan neighborhoods are built around essential communal spaces, including the water fountain, the bathhouse known as the hammam, and the public oven known as the pharaon. If you were standing near the oven at mid-morning, you would see children carrying round trays of unbaked dough from their family kitchens. The baker knows exactly which loaf belongs to which family just by the unique pattern of cuts scored into the crust. The architecture here does not isolate people in private boxes. It draws them out into shared spaces, weaving their daily routines together until neighbors become family. As you walk these shaded paths, you will notice the walls beside you are surprisingly plain. They are washed in simple shades of ochre or white, with almost no windows at eye level. In Moroccan culture, wealth and beauty are not meant to be flaunted to the street. To show off on the outside is considered unrefined. Instead, life looks inward. The traditional Moroccan home is called a riad, a word that translates directly to garden. When you cross the threshold of a riad, you must walk through a bent corridor. This is a clever architectural secret. Even if the front door is wide open to the street, the bent hallway prevents anyone outside from seeing into the private spaces. Privacy is truly sacred. Once you turn that corner, the space opens into a breathtaking central courtyard that is entirely open to the sky. All the rooms of the house face this inner courtyard rather than the street outside. It is a private universe. A riad is meticulously designed to mimic paradise on earth. Water is always present, usually taking the form of a central fountain, representing purity and the source of all life. The gentle sound of water cools the mind and completely drowns out the noise of the city outside. Look closely at the walls and floors of this courtyard. You will see millions of tiny, colorful tiles arranged in dizzying geometric patterns. This is the art of Zellige. If you run your hand over them, you can feel the slight imperfections and the distinct human touch in every single piece. The story of Zellige is not just about decoration. It is a profound expression of belief. In traditional Islamic art, depicting living figures is generally avoided. Instead, artisans channel their devotion into mathematics and geometry. They start with a single star or a circle and radiate the pattern outward, repeating it endlessly across the walls. It is meant to represent the infinite nature of the universe and the divine presence. The process of making these tiles has not changed in 1,000 years. Deep in the Medina, craftsmen sit in the dust, shaping raw clay harvested from the surrounding hills. They bake the clay, glaze it in brilliant colors made from natural minerals, and then sit for hours with heavy, sharp hammers. With stunning precision, they chip away at the painted tiles, cutting them into tiny stars, polygons, and interlocking shapes. The master craftsmen who design these walls do not use blueprints or computers. The mathematics of infinity are held entirely in their minds and passed down to their apprentices through years of silent observation. Now reach out and touch the smooth, rounded archway leading into a quiet sitting room. It feels like polished marble, cool and incredibly soft against your skin. But it is not stone. This is tadelakt, an ancient plaster technique born high in the Atlas Mountains. Craftsmen created it by mixing lime plaster with natural olive oil soap, then polishing it for hours with a smooth river stone until it became entirely waterproof. Originally used to seal rainwater cisterns, it eventually found its way into royal palaces and bathhouses. Tadelakt actually breathes. It is a living material that ages beautifully, absorbing the history and the moisture of the house over decades. Above you, the ceiling is crafted from dark, rich cedar wood brought down from the ancient forests of the Middle Atlas Mountains. The distinct, warm scent of cedar naturally repels insects and perfumes the air in the room. The artisans carve verses of poetry or prayers directly into the wood, turning the very structure of the ceiling into a quiet blessing for the people sleeping below. Every material here comes straight from the Moroccan earth, shaped by hands that deeply respect the natural world. When the communal day in the Medina is finally over, the heavy wooden door of the Riad closes, and the outside world falls away completely. Imagine sitting in that courtyard as the evening call to prayer echoes from the minarets above the city. The square of sky above you deepens to a rich purple. Lanterns made of pierced brass are lit by the family, casting complex, dancing shadows across the Zellige tiles. These lanterns do not just provide light for reading or eating. They paint the walls with light, turning the solid architecture into something ethereal and constantly shifting. You are surrounded by the sweet scent of orange blossom and the gentle trickle of the fountain. This space is designed to slow your heart rate. It is designed to make you feel safe, rooted, and completely present in the moment with the people you love. The brilliance of this architecture is that it understands the human need for both profound connection with the community and absolute, peaceful retreat. Did you know this relationship with the earth extends even further south? If we journey away from the bustling cities and into the sweeping valleys of the desert, the architecture shifts again. Here, towering kasbahs rise directly from the ground. They are built entirely of rammed earth and straw. They look like massive sandcastles glowing red and gold in the setting sun. Because they are made from the very soil they sit upon, they blend perfectly into the landscape. They are a powerful testament to living in harmony with an extreme environment. The thick mud walls absorb the intense heat of the sun during the day and release it slowly to keep the families warm during the freezing desert nights. But earth is a fragile material. A kasbah requires constant care and constant rebuilding by the community after the heavy winter rains. It is a beautiful reminder that a home is not a static object. It is a relationship, something that must be nurtured and maintained by human hands, season after season. When we look closely at the walls, courtyards, and narrow streets of Morocco, we find more than just beautiful design. We find a profound philosophy of living. It is a reminder that true beauty does not need to be shouted to the world. It can be held quietly within. It teaches us that our homes should be genuine sanctuaries, places that nurture our spirits and protect our peace. Whether it is the endlessly repeating geometry of the tilework pointing toward the infinite, or the thick earthen walls of a desert fortress breathing with the changing seasons, these spaces remind us of our deep connection to the earth and to each other. They show us that a building is never just a shelter. It is a vessel for memory, a keeper of cultural identity, and a quiet witness to the generations that pass through its doors. As long as the artisans still sit in the dust shaping clay, and as long as the fountains still whisper in the hidden courtyards, the soul of this land will remain beautifully alive. Thank you for walking through these hidden sanctuaries with me today. If you felt a connection to this place and want to continue exploring the deep cultural roots of our world together, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Tell me in the comments, what part of the Moroccan home would you love to experience the most? Was it the quiet peace of the inner garden or the winding mystery of the ancient Medina streets? I read every single one of your thoughts. Until our next journey, keep your eyes open to the stories hidden all around you.